What's up, everybody? Shawn here with another Live to Roll. We got a little bit of just a hangout session, but talking bowel care with you guys today. I had to kind of readjust the schedule, and so we're throwing in some shit talking for the week. But yeah, let's get into some intros, and then if you guys have any questions or any comments or anything, please drop them in the chat. We definitely love to hear from everybody. So yeah, I'm Shawn Fluke, C5, C6 quadriplegic from snowboarding accident, and I'm actually out here on vacation in Joshua Tree for the week, heading back on Friday. Bobby, go ahead. Let Tom close it up.
Sure. Bobby Rohan, C56 as well, from a bicycle accident 36 years ago. Turn it over to Tommy Boy.
I'm Tom, C6B, quadriplegic, California, Southern region. Here for some literal talk, baby.
About poop. What's that one? And is it Meet the Parents or Meet the Fox? One of those when the baby was doing the poop sign.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that from that? I forget the
Yeah, I think it's from
Meet the Fockers or something, or Meet the
Yeah, I think it was Meet the Parents.
or Meet the Parent.
Yeah,
The first or the second one, whichever one it was. But
yeah, no, it was Meet the Fockers because it was his family. The first one was Parents.
Yeah, that's right. With his his parents, which was funny. But yeah, that's what it is. Definitely an issue for everybody, not just us with spinal cord injuries or other disabilities that affect bowel, give us neurological bowel, but there are a lot of things that affect our bowel care. And so yeah, we'll get into kind of how we manage it and how we've all done stuff, and then I know we'll probably let Bobby give a good amount of information on colostomies, because last time me and Tom were on here talking shit, Bobby couldn't make that one, so we just gave a little bit of information we knew, but Bobby's the resident expert here for the group.
I'm the shit expertise.
The bag of shit expert.
There you go.
But yeah, we can get into like kind of real quick. We can kind of all mention, again, what we do, and if you guys have any questions about those, we can get into that, and then maybe we can get into a little bit. You can give a brief or summary of kind of why you switched to the colostomy, and then give some info on that. But so for me, I used suppositories for like about 17 years of my injury, 16 to 17 years of my injury, and that was not the easiest bowel care for me. It took me hours to do, and I still had accidents. I switched like four years ago now, a little over, to the Peristine system, which is like a bowel irrigation system. So it's basically just a large volume enema is essentially what it is. If you guys have any questions on it, we can answer some more of those questions, but we have explained it a little bit on the last show, especially we went into it and I've talked about it, but it's a system made by Coloplast, and it's worked really well for me. I now do my bowel care in like 20-30 minutes versus
there's
4 hours.
a lot of there's a lot of systems out there too. Coloplast isn't the only one.
Yeah, there are other exact. Thanks, yeah, Tom. There's.
The last time I talked to my psychiatrist, they were talking to me about like some different ones that they were trying to chill on me from some different companies, but they were just like the Coloplast one.
Yeah,
okay. I think Coloplast has competition now in that system.
Yeah.
Anthony, actually, one of our friends, Anthony Riffershay, we've had, I think, on the show a little bit once before, but he actually uses a system. I think it's called the Navina. I forget which one's his called. What company makes that? But theirs is actually kind of cool. I looked it up. The Peristine is a manual little like pump balloon thing that you have to pump. They have that, but they also have one that's digitally run. That's like automated pump, like so you can pump. You can adjust how much water and how fast the pumps are coming on each one. So like they actually do have some cool systems out there. Some other ones that are
I'm giggling because it's like in society, how lazy are we getting? Like, I'm too lazy to pump it. So now let me go digital and, you know, push in a button and, you know, soon we'll just have a finger electric hand going,
That's
you know.
I mean, I know
I'm
you're
not
like being
anymore.
silly. I know you're being silly, but the more automated they make it, the more like realistic it might be for someone to use, you know, like independence wise, like, you know, someone with a disability to use it on their own, or, you know, like have a little bit more agency over, you know, their bowel program or something. So like I know you're being silly, but the more they automate it, I think it's the better just for like,
Well,
you know, independent reasons. Yeah.
no, yeah, especially
that I get that and independence, but also for those with less dexterity, I guess, you know, you can
that's
say.
because yeah, I wouldn't really be able to pump that pump on my own. They make this little like with it comes with a strap so you can strap it to your leg. And I had thought about like maybe if it was strapped to my thigh, I could like push in. But the problem is when I do the paristene, I like to remain very calm, very still. Like I don't want to build too much pressure. So if I'm having to forcefully push the pump with my arm like this, like that would be super hard to do um, and keep the water in there and stuff. So like I feel like I wouldn't be able to get the thing in on my own either. But if somehow I could get it in on my own and then it could automatically inflate the balloon to keep it there and then do the pumping system for me, it could be more accessible for a quad with less dexterity, like less function. Like Tom was saying, like it does open it up to having, you know, a little bit more accessibility for higher levels.
Let's just hope for no maximum overdrive where the
That would
takes
be
over.
Uh, yeah, that would be. I mean, I'm sure in the future with AI and everything, that there, that's where things will go.
Yeah, hey, if you find the right sex toy, I'm pretty sure, yeah, you can make that happen.
Oh, oh man.
That's. Yeah, I mean. All right.
And I,
So
don't know, I think it's important what you said too, keeping your body kind of calm and relaxed like during your bowel care. I think is really important. It's a factor that not a lot of people talk about. Like I don't know, bowel care can be stressful. It can be difficult. You know, like you know, embarrassment wise, especially like early on in your injury and stuff. And I think the more like tense your body is, like the less effective your bowel care can be. Not that it can be like totally ineffective, but you know, like keeping your body chill and relaxed is, I think, important.
yeah, I think it is for sure. Because for me, like
No,
that's what, like if I'm trying to get like it's moving and wanting to come out, then yeah, I'm gonna maybe move and like do what I can to push. You know, I do the little like put some, you know, the massage in my stomach. I do the circular. I forget what that method is called, but when you kind of like rub your bowel, yeah, like the thing.
yeah, you got to start from, I think, what is it?
But
Start from the right and go across
to
and
the
then
left,
down. But
yeah, that's what.
yeah, that's the way our bowels run.
So I do that, but that's not till after I've put all the water in and taken the catheter out. Like for the first few minutes of it, I am trying to be absolutely calm, relaxed. Like Leah put my woosah meditation. I'm bad boy woosah. I literally do that.
Start
But
playing harp music.
that might work. I don't know. I'll have to try.
No, it is important
But
because I know back in the day when I did bowel program, and you know, if you got up a little bit late or your caretaker shows up a little bit late, um, or even having somebody new, it goes 10 times longer or 10 times more just frustrating because you're trying to rush it and then you check it and it's like, I'm not done, dang it. And you just the more you're stressing yourself out, it's just gonna make it way less and more enjoyable, I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I could ever call it necessarily enjoyable, but you know, it's.
Oh, come on, man. Have a good Mad
I mean,
Magazine.
maybe Shawn could talk to us about that, but I I always say when I'm training someone new, like double the time. Like I expect my care to take twice as long as what it would normally be for like someone who's like very familiar with my care and helping me out with it. Like it's like always at least twice as long to like teach and train someone, and your body is always like takes a little bit longer too. Um but yeah, I always like tell my caregiver, like if I'm training someone new, I'm like, this isn't kind of the standard. Like usually it doesn't take this long, but for the first couple, like visits, it always does.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk about your system, Tom? Have you always stayed the same throughout your years of quad life?
No, I've changed my bowel program probably like 3 or 4 times in my life as my body has changed and I've become an adult. That's necessitated some changes in my bowel care. First started doing suppositories when I was first injured when I was 4 years old. Did that for probably about a decade and every other night. And then I went to like a 2 week rehab at Shriners Hospital in Northern California for like, it was like an independence camp that I would do every summer for like 2 weeks. And the nurse was like, why are you still doing this like suppository thing? You should maybe think about or consider changing your bowel routine because I would have accidents on occasion and stuff. And she convinced me to switch to a mini enema. It's called an enemies, which is like a ducosylate solution, kind of similar to what a suppository is, but it's a liquid solution that would be administered via this like little mini enema. Um, did that for about 4 or 5 years. Then I had surgery on my abdomen. They took some of my small intestine tissue to augment my bladder and build my Mitrofanov. And my body changed a lot after that procedure. I, for like a year or two, like really struggled. Like I solved my bladder issue, but like swapped it with a bowel issue where I would have accidents very regularly. And I couldn't, like, no matter how frequent we did my bowel program, which was back then like every day, I would still have issues and stuff. Um, I ended up solving it by switching to fleet enema. So it was a little bit larger volume enema. It's not the ducosylate solution, which would like irritate your bowels and stimulate you to go. It's just a saline solution. It's like a regular fleet enema you buy at CVS or Rite Aid or whatever. And and I found that the little bit larger volume would just like stimulate my bowels a little bit more effectively, and I would evacuate more completely, and that would like avoid the accidents like later in the day. Used to do that every day. Don't do it every day now. Do it like uh, um, depends depends on
So,
my body.
how does that? How do you insert that? Is it
I
fluid?
would care. Yeah, it's just like
No, I know.
a
I'm sorry. Yeah, I meant to say, how does it just get inserted into you? Is it like with a tube or?
Um,
I'm trying to picture
it's
it.
there's like a nozzle on the enema. I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever seen like a plate
Yep.
enema, but it's just like a bottle. It has a nozzle on it. It's like comes like pre-lubricated. I usually add like a little bit of like extra like Surgical lube on there, just to, like be
Yeah.
easier on my body.
Mhm.
I go from my bed into my Hoyer lift, into my bathroom, and while over my toilet chair, they administer the enema. um, yeah, the nurse just administers the enema. I can
Mhm.
paint a more detailed picture if you want me to, but we might
No,
tell
no,
you
no,
some
no, no,
details.
no. And
Uh,
then the solution's up high, right? And then it kind of like a beer
No,
bong, right?
it's not
no,
like
no, no,
the
no.
those
It's in
are
a bottle. It's like literally, if you can imagine, like a smaller version of this bottle. It's like I don't know, about that tall,
Okay, so like a little
smaller,
bit bigger
and then
than
with a
the
nozzle on the end, and you just like squeeze the bottle, and then the
like.
liquid goes in through the nozzle.
Okay,
Now,
like enemy.
I'm they a lot of people do it on their while they're laying on their side. I think that's kind of how the instructions are meant to do it. I don't do my bowel program in my bed. I do it over the toilet. I have like a really, I'm able to retain it. So a lot of people like struggle with retention for enemas, meaning which is the peristine, the way that Shawn uses it, the rectal catheter, the part that goes inside of you, it has a little balloon on it that you inflate that keeps it in place, and it like allows you to retain the enema longer, which allows it to be more effective. It like stimulates everything and makes sure that you evacuate good. Um, I I don't know, just how my body is. Thanks, Shawn. That's the fleet enema that I use.
Okay, so
And
it's like
yeah, I just
that
pay for
enemy
about
is
a
but way
bucket.
bigger.
They administer it. My body's able to retain the liquid for first couple minutes, and then I evacuate. Usually it takes about 10 or 15 minutes. Sometimes it can take a little bit longer, depending on what's going on with my bowels. But I'd say like the average from the time I sit down on the toilet to like when I get back to the bed is between like 15 and 30 minutes on average. And
Wow.
yeah, I usually evacuate very effectively from the fleet. And yeah, um, that's my
I
routine.
did. I, in a lot of our, and we just had one couple episodes back of our bowels, but I didn't realize you had complications from your monopatroph.
The Trophanoff, yeah. I guess it's like kind of typical when you have surgery like that things can change. My system changed a lot. I was also like a teenager, going through puberty, like entering adulthood and stuff. So my body was just going through a lot of significant change at that time, in addition to cutting into my intestines and stuff. And yeah, just mitigated some change, and I'm probably gonna have to change again in the future. Like, I mean, I'm kind of counting on it. I don't know what that change might look like. It might look like switching to a system that more like what Shawn uses, like a Paracene system,
Mm-hmm.
or like I don't know. Honestly, I gotta be real honest and real with you guys, just because that's what the show is. I'd have a hard time switching to a colostomy. I know you talk about it. It's the best thing in the world. I don't know, like vanity wise and stuff for me, which sounds maybe shallow and stuff, but that would be really tough for me to get over, I think, in my head. I'm not saying that I couldn't, but I don't know, at least right now at this time in my life, it would be tough for me to switch to a
Mm-hmm.
colostomy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
no, for real. I get it. Um, and once we get to that, I mean, I fought it for a long time too.
Yeah.
Fought it, fought it. I fought it with pain. Fought it to try all those things, except what you're using, Tom. I did do the Parastene um, for a while. Um, the first time I used the Parastene, it was so awesome. I was like, what a gift to God, to man, from God. That thing was awesome. Like, and then all of a sudden it just like the more I kept using it, the harder it was getting. And then I was like almost literally stemming my, needing to stem after using it, going, wait, we're back on the bowel program. All I've done is shoved up a bunch of water, and a bunch of water came out with some pellets, and that was about it. I was miserable. So yeah, you know, it's not easy to switch to a colostomy.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
you know,
mean, my system that I have right now, it works for me. I'm just like, betting on like, maybe in a decade or, like whatever, like my body decides to do a, change on me that I may have to switch to something else in the future. The main reason I switch from like the irritant, like the mini enemies to outside of the larger volume fluid, like helping me evacuate more effectively, it's the thing with like a suppository or a mini enemies or something is it's an irritant to your bowels. Like it actually like irritates the tissue, and that's what helps stimulate the evacuation. But for us, the vagal nerve can be like, right there. It's like a nerve that's connected to our central nervous system that can cause a lot of stimulation, a lot of discomfort, and like elevate your blood pressure and everything. I found that like any kind of like medicinal irritant was causing mild dysreflexia. It was making like my bowel care just like kind of what you described like in your later years, Bobby. Like it would just make your body go crazy. Like
Well, and
it'd be really hard. It would take a long time and it'd just be really hard on my system. The saline solution, like using like water, it's just really easy on my system. Like it's not having any kind of irritant in there. Like I don't get high BP or anything. Like I don't get any kind of like significant nerve stimulation that causes my body to get spastic or to react. So I would say if anybody is using like a suppository or like any kind of medicinal like irritant, like bowel irritant, and you're experiencing discomfort, maybe think about that and connect the dots. It took me
mhm.
a while to kind of connect those dots and think about switching to something else.
No, I get it. I get it. And that is, I guess I wish I could have gone to that because I think that's what eventually killed, doing a bowel program for me. I mean, trying the magic bullets forever, trying different diets, meaning, some stool softeners here and there, and then I did try that enemies. That was a disaster.
Yeah, those didn't
That
work
like,
for
Yeah.
me either.
I mean, I never had such low blood pressure from those from such that just literally I feel like awful for the rest of the day. Um, and I get it, man. Tom, you can say fuck that for damn.
It's okay.
Screw that. I don't know where that F word just popped out, but you could say
Let it fly, Bobby. It's okay.
butterfly. You can say screw that. I'm not going to have a colostomy, and I don't blame you because it is weird looking down. And I'll tell you the number one thing I can say all day long. I love it. I love it. I love it. It changed my life. But get real, Tom. You and I and Shawn doesn't have to worry about this. We got a quad belly, right?
Yeah.
So our belly's already sticking out. We just don't have the abs holding it in, and everything's just flopping out. And that's the thing that bugs me is there's a
What
bump
are you
there,
talking about, Bobby?
and then a
I'm
body.
fine as a
Yeah,
watchboard, baby. I don't know what you're talking
you
about. Just
know.
kidding.
And so when I wear the thinner t-shirts, it's a drag. It's showing. Like lately,
Yeah.
I'm starting to get into trying to some binders, so it hides it a little bit because. And I'll go into the colostomy, and I just recently changed after using 6 years to a different product. And once again, that's now changed my life in the sense that um, it just evacuates. It seems like I'm evacuating 10 times easier
Yeah.
and 10 times healthier. I don't know what it is. I don't know how such a little thing could have changed, but it did.
I also want to talk about things that like affect your bowel care too. So I think Leon was mentioned Paxlovid, some medicine he took. I used to take like Miralax to help like loosen my stool. I don't do any like kind of laxative or anything now. I also used to do like daily like fiber supplement. I still do fibers sometimes, but not really consistently to like affect my digestion just for like general health. But I'd say one of the biggest things that can affect your bowel movements and stuff is water. Hydrate, people. It's really important, not just for your bladder health, but for your bowel health as well. I don't know, at least it has a big effect on me. Like if I dehydrate for a couple days or I'm not hydrating very effectively, like I've noticed it like during my bowel care and stuff, or like maybe I have an accident because they didn't evacuate as good, but it just helps my system out a lot by hydrating a lot.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
something to consider if you're kind of chronically dehydrated and you're struggling with bowel care. It may be something you can try to change outside of just like the general healthiness of staying hydrated, but it can have a big effect.
Oh
yeah, no,
yeah.
hydration for sure. Diet also, like there's definitely a lot of factors that go into bowel cares, not just like the way you manage it, but
Yeah.
um,
And then
diet.
there's the obvious one, like diet. Yeah, like Shawn said.
Yeah. So all that stuff for sure. You gotta like if you're having trouble with your bowel care and stuff, those are things to try to look at probably first to see if you can
Yeah,
address.
if you're eating your proper, salads, and some good greens and vegetables are great. Don't get me wrong, but for some people they can put a little bit of a wear and tear on your bowels, meaning you might be on the looser side. So um, definitely diet and something I recently introduced, and this could be another factor of what's going on with me, but um, over the years, once in a while, I've tried those, the powder mix of Metamucil. Never saw anything out of it, or any advantage or anything like that. Recently, I found these crackers, and uh, if anybody ever listens to Howard Stern, I'm a big Howard Stern listener, and he eats them, loves them, talks about how he just has the best food. Well, ever since I went to them, they're amazing. I it just I go just like it's funny when I eat in the afternoon, boom, and I'm done for the rest of the day. I'm done, until the next time I have lunch. I don't know what it is. It's just my lunchtime, and I go. And but you know, my bowels for a long time, even after the colostomy, I was always on the looser side, watery to a fact, and then to a point where if I didn't introduce something like a Miralax or a
Yeah.
Miralax solution, then I just wouldn't go. Nothing was happening. It was almost like I needed a magic bullet until I started eating those crackers a couple of years ago. And that,
Interesting.
Are they like a
What are
just a
they?
high fiber type of thing? Like, or is it like a
yeah, high fiber.
What are
okay?
the crackers? What are they?
They're like they come in these little two packages of little wafers. They
Give
taste
me a
awesome.
name, Bobby. Give me a brand name.
Brand no, Metamucil cracker.
Oh,
It,
Metamucil
it,
cracker.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
cracker, yeah.
It's made by Metamucil. Okay, I got
Made
you.
by Metamucil. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no,
But
no
they
worries.
taste
I
great.
maybe I just missed that. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
bought
no,
this.
that's right. They have a apple crisp, cinnamon, like a cinnamon cracker, almost like a graham. It tastes like a graham cracker. And then I noticed they have a chocolate one. I've never had the chocolate because I'm not a big chocolate person, but yeah, I just you know they've been working well. I don't know. I thought I saw Mickey in the chat. Let me know if you tried them. She recently reached out and asked me about them. So let me know if you tried them, Mickey. And then Derek, you're the milk of magnesium works great for constipation. Yeah, don't take too much.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
one of those ones I've never
That
actually
thing,
done. Milk of magnesia stuff. I've heard stories from people, um, but yeah, I've not.
When I
I've,
got my abdominal surgery, I had to do like some like bowel prep, and I they ended up giving me like an NG tube and giving me a bunch of Golightly stuff. But I had to drink this stuff before. It's called magnesium citrate, and it's like this like sparkly, like it's like lemon lime flavored. It has a lot of magnesium in it. And for anybody that doesn't know, magnesium could like really helps like stimulate. It can be extreme laxative effect. And yeah, that stuff was gnarly. Fucked me up. Ugh.
yeah,
But I wanted to talk to you guys about. I saw this on a spinal cord injury forum a couple days ago. It was someone asking about establishing a bowel care routine. Like I've like been injured for 2 years. I'm really struggling with my bowel care. I don't really have a routine. A doctor mentioned it or I read about it, but I have no idea where to start or what to do. And I was thinking about that. I was like, ugh. Like I had a when I was coming out of rehab, um, we had it was like a nurse practitioner, someone that like worked in the hospital that like talked to my parents about establishing a bowel care routine, and then later on, in my life too is like, again, like a nurse at a hospital or something. They asked me about like my bowel care specifically and kind of educated me on it a little bit, and then I did a lot of research on my own online. But just, I think it'd be really important and good thing to talk about, like, where do you start? Like, where do you start? um where did you guys start? Like, how did you first figure it out?
Northridge Hospital. I mean, right when I got hurt.
But
It's just basically it was instilled kind of like, um, turn every 2 hours, do a pressure release every hour for 1 minute. It was just kind of instilled in me. So I think it helps that if you get that right off the bat, and that person that you're talking about probably, and I know when you're in the hospital, everything is going up and over your head. And so I'm not blaming like, didn't the staff was dumb or, I can't believe they didn't teach them that. But, I get it. Nowadays in rehab, you don't have much time. Back in my day, we had 6 months to get that crap right. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I just learned it off the bat. I
yeah,
don't know
that's
if
what I was
that
I
gonna. I
think,
think I also was taught like right out of there like, in rehab. They kind of told me going home to like try to have some sort of a consistent routine, like let your body kind of get used to like if. And they also somebody suggested to me some um, like if you're if you were a morning pooper, maybe try to stick with like being a morning pooper. Like if that's what your body had been used to for the first however many years of your life, like if you had somewhat of a routine, because a lot of people do and don't, like I used to pretty much wake up in the morning, poop, shower, and get my day going, go to work and stuff. um,
yeah.
so like for me,
Well,
mornings work because it feels like my body naturally wants to do that in the morning.
follow your body's natural cycle as close as possible. It's really important, and it'll make it a lot better. Like that, you'll evacuate more effectively. You'll avoid accidents. That's like really the best thing you can do is try to find your body's kind of like natural cycle and then adhere to
well,
that. Uh,
that
uh,
that and try to also go with what works best for you. I mean, some people are going out at night. I mean, that's when in the hospital they taught me at night. That was easier for the staff. The staff nighttime get it. And then when I got home, I'm like, I'm 17. I want to go out and I think now turning 18, but I was like planning like when I get older and going out, I want to be out and not have to worry about doing my bowels. So then I switched to a morning and it just happened to be before my accident it was, but I got taught for night and then realized no, this my lifestyle is going to be I want to do in the morning. But then it turned out, when I got a job, then man, it was morning. It was, get up at 4:30 to start at 5 and go from there to be at work by 8 after all said and done with the 5 S's or 6 S's, whatever that saying is.
I also think a good way to kind of establish whether or not a routine is working for you is just keep a diary. Write a note whether or not it's successful. Like the time that you did it, maybe even track like what you're eating during the day too, but just like a little note, like had this for lunch, had this for dinner. You don't got to go into great detail or anything, but it can help you establish a bowel care routine. I feel like it's one of the only ways to kind of know or understand is to actually like write it down and track it. And I'm not talking about like going into like great detail here, like every time you poop, but you just like, right, like the time that you evacuated, whether or not it was successful, like the method, especially if you're trying to establish what works for you and stuff. And also like give your body some time to um, see if something is successful. So like if you try something new and then you have an accident later that day, like don't write it off as like, oh, that's a failed experiment. Give it a couple weeks and see if your body can like kind of acclimate to it and stuff. It's just going to take some time for your body to fall into a routine. And then there's like the caregiver factor and like having to rely on people to come in and help you and stuff, which can affect the time, it can affect the frequency. And, like, especially if they're not reliable and stuff, or if they're reliable, like there's lots and lots of factors. And kind of keeping notes and keeping track, I think, helps make sense of all of these different factors and how they maybe affect or influence you. That way you can tweak things here and there to try to like tweak it to what works best.
If you don't mind me asking, Tom, you've been through a little bit of a ringer with caretakers coming in, and so you've been doing some different times. How did that affect you? Were you like really thrown off? Because I know when there's been back in I keep saying back in my day, rugby. When I used to go out of town for rugby, I wanted to do one good and see if I can make it to till Sunday. So I would do it Friday early morning and then come home and do it Sunday night. But doing it Friday night or it's Thursday night, it would just really kill me because I was doing it at night and it just really affected me. Does that affect you well?
Honestly, it's ruining my life. And I'm really trying to regain some control. I know, like, for instance, I'm normally like a morning, like, I've always done my bowel care in the morning. Like, when I switched, like, from suppositories, like, that's when I did it, like, get up and do it in the morning. So my body's very used to it. I have my nurse coming. He texted me, even though I told him I wasn't available between 3:30 and 4:30, the only hour that I wasn't available today. He texted me at 3:50, being like, "I'm on my way." I told him, I'm like, "I won't be available until after 4:30, just so you know." Like, I communicated, but now they want to come in the afternoon and stuff. I was like struggling for a little while transitioning to a new home health agency and new caregivers, and they were like not able to assign anybody to me. So I was like going completely without care. And then I kind of capitulated to someone that could only come in the afternoon. And while they're a really great nurse, like they're super awesome nurse and like really, really good and effective and good at what they do, the timing's been really hard for me. Then my CHHA, who has been helping me with like my showers and stuff, have been very inconsistent. And it's been a lot of it's been a lot. It's been really tough for me to establish routine, which
Right.
has resulted in a lot of accidents and a lot of other like issues in, like trying to operate my everyday life. It's been interfering with my live to roll stuff. It's been interfering with a lot of things. And I've been really trying to get it back on track. And the only way to do that is to just continue to communicate with my insurance and my home health agencies and try to just get onto a routine that works for me. It's just, unfortunately, it's a lot of forces outside of my control. Like, I could wish all I want, for like an optimal situation, but whether or not that's a realistic possibility, is very different. So I'm working on it and working on it every day. I'm working on trying to establish a consistent routine. It's been a lot for the last like 6 or 8 weeks. It's been a lot. It's been really tough for me. And
But
it's
how
like
is
been
it?
hard on my mental health too.
Yeah, that. But how does it? Does it make it go any different? I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, no, totally. Like,
You
I'll do
have a
my
different.
doctor this afternoon, and um, I probably have an accident tomorrow morning. Um, I'm anticipating. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm really, 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 really trying to establish like a better balance. But I don't know. I've also kind of been at the whim of like my caregivers in my home health agency. Like, they're just not giving me any other option. Like, they ask my time that I prefer, and then they're like, "That's not an option. That's not a possibility. We don't have anybody." I could try to switch to a new home health agency, but that's going to mean new prescriptions from my doctor. It's going to be like another week or two transition to getting new nurses and training new people and stuff. And that's kind of like a whole nother thing all in itself. And yeah, I'm just trying to make it work. I'm trying to be really flexible. I'm very fortunate to have a lot of independence and a lot of like kind of control and agency over like my own care and stuff and caring for myself. But it's a lot on me physically, and I can't do it all the time,
Right.
and it's like wearing on me physically and mentally, and I'm just trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm working on it. So
But does
so to answer
does
the question, it's really hard on me. It's really hard on my body. Like
but
inconsistency is tough.
does it give you different results, or do you have different, like it used to affect me and drain me more to do it at night than it did in the morning for some reason. Like I would sweat more, and like my body's like, wait, we're not supposed to do this right now, so why are you trying to force it? Are you having any of that kind of effect like I used to?
Um, kind of. I don't know. Like my body's not always ready to evacuate in the afternoon. Like it's just not the time. Like 4:30,
Right.
like smack in the middle of the day. It's really awkward, especially like if I plan to like go out and do things in the evening and stuff. It can also like kind of give me some insecurity in that like maybe I didn't evacuate effectively in the afternoon, or it stimulated my bowels, and that might cause me to have an issue later while I'm out or something. And that can be really hard and like really hard, like on my brain. Um, so I wish that I could do it at night, like, 7, 8 o'clock before I'm getting ready to like lay down and go to bed. Like that would be awesome. Versus like smack dab in the middle of the day, like in the afternoon or like early evening or something. Like if I could stick to morning or night, like that's what I would prefer. But nurses nowadays only work between 9 and 5, which like is not super optimal for my situation. And I'm trying, yeah. Um,
Mhm.
so if I could like pick morning or night, like either of those times would be better than kind of what I'm doing now, which is like smack dab in the middle of the day. My body's kind of gotten used to the routine a little bit now that I've been doing it for the last like 3 or 4 weeks with the same nurse. Like I've been having more consistency, but it's looking like my current home health agency is not going to work out for me, and I'm probably going to have to go through a transition here again. I'm really working hard to try to communicate my needs before I get assigned to an agency and hopefully have some confidence and some assurity that they're going to be able to help me out in the way that can maybe benefit me the most. But this other agency assured me of that too before I switched to them, and it's just been nothing but a nightmare since. So, um, managing your care and your caregivers and stuff is kind of the other big part of really good,
Well,
effective bowel care is like having a good nurse. I have a great nurse right now. The timing's just really hard for me.
yeah.
No, yeah, that's
And
a big part of it. Having the right help, and then, like you said, the timing of it. Sometimes it works best for you in the morning, but you can't get the help in the morning. So it's like
well,
you just have
and
to sort of make adjustments. And
and Derek said, that's why eventually getting a colostomy, I'm afraid that it will be hard finding caregivers to do the BP. And you're right, Derek. I mean, I'll tell you that was two. My two hugest things were great about the colostomy was one was okay. Now I can cut down on some nursing care, and having somebody come into the house, that was nice. Let alone, mine was taken way longer than your guys's, and I didn't have a good, setup like that. And then two, it was traveling. I love traveling, not having to worry about bringing all that equipment for the bowel care and wondering and being thrown off like that. So now I'm not thrown off on my bowel care when I travel. So those were, some good factors to having that. Another good factor for the colostomy was that your bowels start doing what it's naturally supposed to do. Just go when it's kind of like go when your body tells you to go. Or, I didn't, luckily I wasn't one of those guys that bend over and then air pops out and, get yourself embarrassed in front of a room or anything like that. I would just get the trapped air and I hated it. And now the air comes out very easily for me. So I don't get a bunch of that trapped gas inside my stomach. And I don't know if you guys have ever had that problem um, from
Uh,
time to time.
I know if I eat something like a real greasy cheeseburger and stuff, I can get kind of bloated afterwards. But I don't do that super consistently. And fortunately, like I don't really deal with bloating too much.
Mhm.
If I have any air buildup, I don't know. I just don't. Not really something that plagues me. But I have certainly gotten bloated in the past and felt like, oh, why does my belly feel so full?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had the air pockets, I think, um, a few times where, and that's been more recently in the last couple of years. I don't know if that's maybe because I am somehow trapping air occasionally or something with the system, but I do get actually really high like levels of AD sometimes when I've had, and like I'll feel like the air moving inside of me, but like it won't come out. Like you'll hear like things happening, and it'll like I'll be literally like sweating from AD from the discomfort
Mhm.
it's causing inside of my stomach there. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I think some people have to choose it. Some for their having a wound care, meaning flap surgery, and then some people have to go to it for I just slipped my mind. Not only wound care, but hemorrhoids. I've heard of some people having to move over because, doing any kind of natural stem or having anything inserted can cause internal or external hemorrhoids, which can be not very easily healed for us who are sitting all the time. So,
that's actually another thing about I'll mention about the parasine too is I I think it's hereditary. I've had a hemorrhoid since before my injury. I was literally 19 and had a hemorrhoid already, fucking working at country like office jobs and um, so that's been literally a pain in my ass for the entire part of my injury. Um, and with suppositories, I did get more bleeding. Not really, really bad profuse, but there would be some days where I would have pretty good amount of bleeding, and it was pretty regularly, at least once a week or so. I'd have like a good amount of bleeding with my bowel program. And since doing the Parastene for these years, I don't have any bleeding. It's been so much easier on my bowel, and the hemorrhoid just seems to be like it's still there. So sitting long periods of time, eating spicy foods, I think will still affect it a little bit. Like and make it. I can tell I get more discomfort from sitting, but I get no bleeding, and it's just a lot more like better, more manageable. So
yeah, yeah. It doesn't open up and cause problems like it used to for you.
yeah,
And I've been really fortunate, knock on wood, that I don't know, my system's awesome. Like I've never struggled with hemorrhoids. Like the amount of times that there's been bleeding is like, I don't know, I had like a new nurse that was not very good at their job that like kind of did a little trauma, caused some bleeding, and stuff. That was like once or twice, like in my whole life,
Yeah,
that I've been doing my doc care. Have I ever had an issue with that? So, and I've been really, really lucky, super fortunate, to not struggle really with any issues like that that would,
yeah,
count for a change. But whether you colostomies for you, suppositories, enemies, enemas, evaluation system, like the Parastene. The best solution is the one that works best for you. You
yeah,
have to kind of factor in a lot of stuff. You have to factor in how much access to caregiving you have. You have to, factor in your life and your schedule and, then your body and how it responds to, each of those individually and stuff. And you kind of have to dial it in to what works best for you. All of them take time. Some of them even require surgery and stuff. So they're like bigger decisions to make. Like if you're deciding to do a colostomy, it's surgery. They're gonna have to put you out and cut into you, and like cause some physiological change to your anatomy, and stuff. So it's a lot to consider. Make sure that you're having conversations with your doctor. Make sure you have a doctor that you trust and you're confident with. Like I always talk about, if you have a spinal cord injury, try to find a spinal cord doctor, a neurologist or a physiatrist that specializes in spinal cord injury. The physiatrists have always been the ones that have given me the best advice on bowel care options and what they think would work best for me and stuff. And it's been super, super valuable information. And if you're okay talking about it, like I know it can be hard and embarrassing to talk about. Like trust me, I know. I know we talk about it very casually on here, but it's just because we've talked about it so much. But talking to your peers, talking to other individuals like quadriplegics, paraplegics, people that who manage it, with similar disability, that information can be invaluable. I hope that we can offer some of that here at Live to Roll, even if you're not here talking to us, but hey, just hanging out in the chat or watching. But talking to other individuals with disabilities is paramount to finding a solution or a system routine that works for you. There's no other way you're going to get the information.
And also another thing to mention for if you are changing systems, like if you're trying something that's not working and you want to change things, make sure you are only changing, one thing at a time. Like don't change your diet and the way that you're doing your care at the same time. Do one, keep your, change your diet, maybe see if that helps the system you're using. If it doesn't, make another change. You just figure out, like Tom said, you just have to figure out what's going to work for you. And unfortunately, the only way to do that sometimes is to get it wrong a couple times and have to keep trying new systems.
And Shawn says something valuable there too. Don't change everything all at once. If you constantly change everything all at once, like you change how you do your bowel care, the time you do your bowel care, and your diet, you're not going to know what's really influencing or affecting you. Pick one, change it, and maybe like try to keep everything else as consistent as you can. Like I said before, if something doesn't work once for your bowel care, your body could just be funky that day, and doesn't mean it's not going to work, in the future and stuff. Give it a good, honest go before you decide to change everything up, and change one thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. Give it and give it the good go, like you said. Don't give up after one time. If it didn't work, or if it did work, don't think that's it, that's done. Like Bobby said, the Paracine worked great for him the first time, and then kind of stopped working. Fortunately for me, it has continued to work well and stuff. But it all just it's all going to be based on your body and everything. We're all different things going to work. And real quick, Derek had asked if I get less AD with the Paracine system. And yeah, for my overall my bowel care used to be rough with the suppositories. I literally would be sweating with AD, like trying to push, like sometimes literally like punching my stomach almost, like trying to get Leah hated that. She's like, dude, what are you doing when I first? Because even with the Paracine, I would sometimes do that on occasion, but not even close to what I used to do when when I used the suppository systems. But yeah, way less AD. I don't sweat. I don't have any of those issues. I do get some little bit, like you can feel the pressure when I'm filling the balloon, and I get a little minor low levels of AD, but I get that when I fart. So I don't know.
When you expel gas. Also with that, good points about changing. Also plan your change. Make sure it's during a time when stress might be less, or make sure you're not going to be having a trip in a week and a half, and you're like, oh, now I'm thrown off because you were trying to do a change. So make sure you have okay, the next 3 weeks I'm dedicating to that. This might go horribly wrong, and it's not going to affect maybe work or school, or or a travel, or any other kind of plans going out at a concert, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, there she blows, oh my gosh, this is not the time. But so plan it out, make sure you give it like you guys said, some time, and until and do that one change, like you said, Tom. That's always a good point, especially when trying out medication or something like that. And the one thing I wanted to say, for Derek, let's say you did go a colostomy way and you don't like it, it's reversible.
That's one good thing. Yeah,
that's a good thing. It is reversible for those that aren't happy with it. But
yeah.
it's just been gave me so much more independence. That's what I love about it. As much as I hate that it's right there. And I'll tell you one thing. I just recently changed. I used to do these Hollister, uh, and I did a two system. And with this, on this, I got the wafer that goes on my skin. So the wafer is attached to my skin, and then the bag would click on. So this bag would click on, and the hooks are really for belts. I don't know who uses belts, but you'd have to snap it on. And I had a rough time. I could change it, but snapping it back on with my quad fingers, I just didn't have that good pinch to do it. I could burp it, and that was one thing. I would, whenever I had gas expelled, the bag would fill up with air. Not, wasn't a big deal, but I could open it up enough to let that air out. Ever since I changed to, and shout out to Coloplast, their system is 10 times better. This
Uh,
bag does not fill up with air at all. The way it's got, and both of them have a filter, but this one is just amazing. And then here's another cool point: this one sticks to the wafer, so the wafer sticks to my skin like I showed you, and then it sticks to the bag. So all I have to do is peel it off and stick another one back on. I don't have to worry about using my dexterity or my fingers at all. And it
Uh,
just changed my life again of how much independence it's given me with my bowel care.
Shout out to Coloplast. I'm really sorry, you guys. I have like a hard out at 4:30. He's got
Yeah.
my nurse knocking on my door in 1 minute. I did want to answer the last question. Jay said, "Do enemies work by themselves?" Enemies worked for me for 4 or 5 years, very consistently. Every other day was my routine, and it worked for me for years. So they do work on their own. At least they did for me for a time when I was a teenager. But I will be cooking tomorrow and hanging out at 3:30 right here on Live to Roll. If anybody wants to come and hang out, if guys have any more questions tomorrow too, I'd be happy to touch on them while we're cooking and hanging. And yeah, I'm really sorry that I got to go and wrap up the show real quick, but I love you guys. Live to Roll. Peace out. Bye
Later,
bye.
Tom. All right,
Later.
yeah. It's already end of the show anyways. We're gonna wrap. And I know we didn't get to talk too much about colostomies. We kind of just went on a general bowel
Yeah.
care. But um,
And I
I
think
will,
next time we should have a couple guys on for those that are interested, and let the Live to Roll know on the message board if you want that a whole show dedicated to colostomy, and have other guests on there because everybody's a little bit different with their colostomy and how it works for them. So
yeah, and I
yeah.
think I actually in the chat right now. Viv is there, and also shout out to Viv. Anybody did see it
Oh yeah, her show and her
yesterday?
coupon benefit.
She did a gaming live stream on Monday, her first one, and that was even she was trying to call us to get some technical help, and phones were on silent out here on vacation, and didn't see, but she got it up and running and did it and did a great job. But she actually just recently got a colostomy, and she actually was said she'd be comfortable and okay with coming on to talk about it. And since she's newer and young, like kind of like it's like she got brand new perspective on like trying it and stuff. I think that'd be kind of great. And then maybe we can get even somebody else that's been doing it for quite a while and try to get like a few different uh, people with experience and stuff on here.
Mhm.
That'd
Yeah.
be good. So yeah, we will try to do that coming up here soon. I'll make sure we get that plan going here.
And it was over the weekend. It was really cool. This Live to Roll family. I attended a 4-hour seminar on aging with a disability through I don't know who. I think it was the Christopher Reeves, but Derek was on there. I'm like, there's my bud Derek. So cool to see Derek and recognize him. So that was cool to see you, Derek, over the weekend. So
Nice.
small world. Here we are.
I know
Still
it is.
learning.
It honestly is a small world within this community. Like so many of us do, like w- I feel like we do kind of all know each other. That joke of like, oh, everybody in a wheelchair must know each other. But but on some level, like a lot of that in communities, it depends on like what communities, online communities, local communities. We all do kind of get to know each other, and it's nice. So yeah, that's really cool.
Oh, and I want to give a shout out from our guest last week. Great job, everybody. That's a small world too. Um, uh, what's her name? Oh, now I'm drawing a blank. The director, Shawn, help me out.
Oh, Anna.
Anna. I met her during COVID time when it was on real lockdown through a workout group. And when we had her on, I'm like, God, I know her. And I messaged her after, and I'm like, or I looked at her Instagram, and go, oh my God, that's Anna, from New York, and she, been friends with her on a long time, so that was funny. But um, the over the last week, I've been checking out all of those Easter seal challenges.
Yeah,
Short
we've watched a lot of them.
Everybody go to Easter Stills Challenge on YouTube, and you'll be blown away. I mean, some of them are a little corny, um, but they are really like just entertaining. And how I always try to think like who's going to be the disabled or how they bring it in on this one, and just really cool.
Yeah, no, honestly, we were actually watching a bunch of those too. Um, there was that one's scary. Yeah, there was a couple that were really good. Yeah,
Yeah, there's some
Fester, that
scary
one was
ones.
pretty good. There was quite a few, and some of them are kind of goofy and funny, but they're great. They're only like 4 to 5 minutes, so like you literally just they're so entertaining and quick, and it's great. They're all people from the community, with all different disabilities, like not just like in chairs or amputees, different oh, the one with I'm trying to think of some. I don't want to. There were some really good ones. There were some.
There was
So
some
yeah,
violent ones.
Bobby, that's great
Danny's was
advice.
good. Danny's was good. How he got, that was kind of
I
scary.
actually don't think I saw Danny Gomez's yet. I'll have to look
Oh
his.
yeah, yeah, find his.
We didn't see Danny's yet, so I'll have to look his up. Yeah,
Yeah,
we were like watching a bunch of those the other night, but we have to get back on it. Actually, we've been kind of on vacation, just kind of hanging out here, but those are
yeah.
good. I highly suggest. I should actually make sure and even drop the link in the description.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah,
go to they're right up there. Just go to the Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge YouTube channel, and they have all the 2025. There's like 100
yeah.
little
There's
videos.
tons, and very entertaining, quick and easy to watch. So I just wanted to shout out to our guest last week. I hope they make the finals. They're going to know May 4th, I believe I heard. So check them out uh, if you got some time to kill.
Yeah, no, I definitely get it's a good suggestion, Bobby. Yeah, those are honestly there's some really good ones, and you can tell people really put their like heart into trying to make those things.
Mhm.
They're really cool. Um, yeah, so let's real quick go ahead since we are wrapping up. We can shout out our sponsors. Um,
Mobility professionals and urology professionals. Mobility professionals here in the Southern California, they can handle your mobility needs. Not only that, they can handle your urology needs. They are one shop stop. I think I heard they even now have a third uh, store in Southern California. So right now they're in Lake Forest, they're in Downey, and I think they're going to be moving to Long Beach as well. So
oh, really?
they're popping up, and yeah. So the mobility professionals team is could be in a city near you. You never know. So keep a lookout for that. But they are great because they can handle both of your needs. But I know not everybody's here in the Southern California area. So if you are not and you need a supplier for your urology needs, your colostomy needs, whatever it may need to be, check out urology professionals. We use them because their end users are working there and they know their stuff and they know their products, so they can help you out. So they are people who use it and people who sell it.
Yeah, and our friend Dean is there and knows he is a quad, knows the community, and him and a lot of the others are very nice. And if you like stuff like even running low on supplies and things like that, they will almost always. I've never heard that they wouldn't send out samples and stuff to people just to like help
Mhm.
people get by until they can get their next supply, even if you're not ordering from them. So just
Yeah, they
and
help they help out everybody.
and shout out if you're in the Southern California area this coming up weekend. I think both Bobby and I and the people from Mobility Professionals will all be in Santa Clarita at the Triumph Foundation Wheelchair Sports Festival. It's a 2 day
I think
festival.
Viv should be there. Viv, you
Viv, I
better
think
be
is
there.
coming. I think.
No,
Oh no, Viv
she'll be
isn't.
there.
Oh,
He's not
Viv.
gonna be able to make it this time. I think.
Hopefully Robert maybe.
He came last year though. I know. I think yeah. Robert in the chat maybe. But yeah, you guys come on out. We'll be there Saturday, Sunday, and really cool, fun event. Totally free to come out. Lunch provided. Lots of fun, cool sports and stuff to play, or just to check out and watch if you just want to hang out and watch. You know,
And message us if you don't need that information.
yeah, definitely reach out. We can send you the info for that.
I guess we're gonna
Um,
be
what's up?
as the wife said, we're gonna be live each day.
Yeah, and we will be live each day, both Saturday, Sunday. We'll do some live streams to show you guys a little bit of the event and kind of just hang out with you guys a little bit for the time. So yeah, that would be super
This
super
weekend.
fun. Yeah, super cool this weekend. So come out and check us out. And then for the rest of the show, we already showed Tom will be on tomorrow doing some live cooking. So make sure to check out his stream tomorrow. And then on Thursday, do I have the new one? Oh, I don't have it on.
Me and the boys, we got if you don't, rolling over the hill this Thursday, 3:30 is our now slot official time. We'll be on at 3:30, and we're going to be talking disabled films and documentaries. So uh, though it might be about a subject of somebody in a chair or have somebody in a chair, documentaries and movies. So we're going to be giving our top five of each. Me and Robert and Paul. Chad is not going to be able to be with us, but we should be talking some film. So come in and tell us what your favorite film is. And just a hint, mine has always been Monkey Shine. It's
I've never
a
seen that.
movie from the late 80s, and about a guy who's using a monkey as his not caretaker, but service animal. So his friend who works in a lab gets him a smart monkey, but you know what the friend does makes him smarter and doesn't turn out to be good. So, but watch it and it should be fun.
All right, yeah, that should be cool. So come and check that out on Thursday, you guys. Be hanging out, talking some film stuff, and yeah, we live on Saturday, Sunday as well this weekend. So make sure to check that out, and also back next Tuesday for another live stream. Next Tuesday actually is going to be open hanging out, and I actually won't be there. So we'll be
Yeah.
off on Tuesday. But Bobby, Tom, and I think we might have another couple others will
All
fill
of our
in.
family.
A couple people will hop on there and come hang out for the just open discussion Q&A. Just hang out show next Tuesday, guys. But all right, everybody, thanks again for watching. Really appreciate all you guys. Derek,
Everybody.
living vicariously through the live experience. Yeah, man, that's what we were trying to do. So give people something to do, hang out with us, and maybe inspire some people in other communities to start their own Triumph Foundation, do their own sports festivals, all these things.
Yeah.
Um,
You have the
all right.
power.
Thanks again for hanging out, you guys. We'll see you next time. Live to roll, everybody.
Live to roll.